Writer's block. Ugh. It happens. It does happen. This video is going to show an example of writer's block and what I did to get around it. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Many an author or anyone having to write anything, it could include students trying to write papers, will face writer's block when they are just stuck. They just cannot think of the next thing to write. Sometimes we can feel like we're lost. We kind of get stuck on here on this island and we know we need to move on, but we cannot see a way around and have really no clue on what we're going to do next. We know we want to get somewhere. We want to get to the end of the novel, or we want to get to the end of the research paper. We maybe even have an idea of what the ending is going to be, but from where we are, we can't see how to get there. And this actually happened to me in one of the books that I wrote, The Waxing Moon. This is the second book of the Barawan trilogy that I wrote. And I was working my way. I had an ending in mind, and I was throwing all sorts of twists and turns and such into this story. And here's a quote from the book. And it's not going to make a lot of sense because you don't understand the characters and the setting, but oh well. So basically, we are trapped again, Saravina said. We can't leave here for fear of the Rift and Erd, and we can't let the Tuller T-Voil make it to Barawan. Also, we're expected to believe these people from Eden. Snapdragon sighed. That about sums it up, yes. So, what are we going to do? He thought for a moment before saying, I honestly have no idea. This is me, the author, writing this. Okay, I was summing up what I had, the problems I had gotten my characters into. And I had kind of just written this out, and I figured out, okay, well, how am I going to do this? And my answer was, I don't have an idea. I really don't know how I'm going to solve this. I know what the end goal is, but I'm not sure how I'm going to get there. So what did I do? Well, this is a trick that I learned, and it works pretty well for me, and it works in a lot of different ways, and I'll explain why it works. The goal is I just started writing anything. Just started writing, okay? With the idea that I may or may not be using it, but I just started writing. I just started typing. I didn't really necessarily know where I was going to go with it next. I had this writer's block, but something magical happens that I believe when we are in the act of writing, while we are physically typing or writing using a pen or whatever, while we are in the act of writing, our brain begins to connect the dots. Okay, it takes all this information that we have and it starts to figure out solutions for us. This also works when writing research papers. I can tell you that the approach that I often teach is for my students to collect all their research first and read up on their subject quite a bit before they even start to write their paper. And as they're writing their paper, if they say, I'm stuck, I'm not sure how to start, I say, just start writing something. And as we are writing, our ideas come to our mind, we start to connect the dots. In fact, I believe that is the very reason why we have to write research papers in college and in school. It's not about the completed product. It's not about the finished paper. The learning comes when we are in the act of writing. Our brain is trying to find a solution. So I would recommend the next time that you get stuck writing something, anything, and you just don't know what to write, start something. If it's a story, I start with, it was a dark and stormy night. I just go with that with the understanding I'm going to go back and make revisions and make changes. But if I'm trying to generate ideas, writing something, anything seems to work as a great solution.